That?
8:20. President Obama's daughters were always going to grow up in the public eye, but 12-year-old Malia stands out because she's had a sudden growth spurt.
Yes, at a formidable 5'9" tall, she's almost 7 inches taller than the average girl of her age. So what is it like to cope with being so tall, so young?
Let's talk to Terry McClone, who is just 16 and measures a fantastic 6'1", and alongside her Faith Dwight, 5'10" by the time she was 12 years old.
Good morning.
And over here on the other side of the sofa, on my side, Tam Fry from the Child Growth Foundation. So very good morning to all of you. Terry, 16 years old and 6'1". Does it pose problems?
It used to, it doesn't anymore though. Like, I used to walk into school and everyone would say something, but like, it wasn't like they would target on your height because they don't like you. They'd say something about what you were wearing, and then it'd just go on, and if you had something different on that they didn't like, they picked on you, but if anyone else walked in, it'd be fine.
And Terry, just talk us through your growth spurt. I mean, at what age were you significantly taller than other people?
I've always been taller,
Okay.
but it was when I went to my new school in Dunfermline that everyone started picking on me because I was a new girl. So
and that would have been
easy.
at what, the age of 12?
11.
11?
Yeah.
And at that age, how tall would you have been then?
5'10".
5'10" at 11 years old? Okay.
And presumably your parents are tall, is that?
Yeah, my mum and dad are tall. My dad's 6'3", and my mum, well, she's shrunk now, but she used to have the longest legs in Scotland.
She won't like you for saying that.
That's an intriguing image.
Yeah.
Now, Faith, alongside you, you were 5'10" when you were 12,
That's
so
right, yeah.
Similar experience.
Yeah, and I'm still 5'10", so I just stopped at 12 and didn't keep going. So.
And other people then caught up with you?
Yeah, eventually.
Eventually, yes,
yeah.
Presumably when they got nearer to adulthood. But what sort
That's
of
right.
problems did you experience?
I think for me it was more, I didn't get made fun of quite as much, but I think for me it was just kind of, you know, I had kind of had crushes on boys that were half my height or, you know, a foot shorter, and so things like that were just a bit awkward. 13's kind of an awkward age anyway, you know, and so to be, you're kind of discovering the other sex, and so that was a bit difficult and, you know, embarrassing. So.
Tam Fry, let's bring you in now. You're chairman of the Child Growth Foundation. Is this anecdotal, or are youngsters getting taller quicker, and are they bigger generally? I mean, that's what I see.
We're all getting taller gradually, probably about an inch more than we were 20 years ago. And it is quite true that youngsters are starting to sprout up, but they're sprouting up, they're also sprouting out. And the two are interrelated because, in fact, particularly for the pubertal cycle for girls, the bigger the girl, it triggers the whole of the sex hormone stuff, and therefore they go into puberty earlier.
So they're just developing in every way
Absolutely.
Much earlier. And emotionally, in terms of maturity, are they able to deal with that?
Well, some are. Obviously, this young lady is, but some find it very difficult indeed. And particularly when puberty comes much earlier than expected. That's a terrible time where you have girls going into puberty at the age of 8 and 9. They've got all the physical attributes and they've got the hormones going, but they haven't got the mental capacity to hold up.
Yeah, and I mean, this happens obviously with boys as well. You see, you know, examples of boys who grow very large, very young. And I imagine there is that issue of people thinking you're older than you are just because of your size.
Yeah, they all think I'm 18, so...
Does that happen a lot to you?
Yeah.
And Faith, you have got the most intriguing accent. So I'm going to ask, where did you grow up?
I grew up in North Carolina, in the southeast of America. So.
And generally, Tam, I mean, is there a difference between the UK and the US with, you know, we see Malia there, President Obama's daughter, and she's shot up. I mean, are the Americans ahead of us with...
Not specifically. Where you have in America, and to a certain extent here, you have the influence of the Afro-Caribbean background, and they tend to be taller. And so there are many more tall black Americans, if you will. But there probably is not too great a difference. It's just the general trend that we're all experiencing.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, Tam, but on the whole, whether we're treating it like, in a way, a bit like it's a problem. But it is, presumably, it's just the nature of things.
It's the nature of things.
And
It's not a problem, should not be seen as a problem. Only the exceptions should perhaps be seen as problems.
And Faith and Terry as well, if you had advice for Malia how to deal with that sudden growth spurt, I mean, obviously she's in the public eye to a degree that none of us can imagine anyway, but what would your advice be about dealing with it?
I think I would say I would just hope for her that she would kind of discover what it took me kind of 25 years to discover, and that is that, you know, I always wished I was kind of short and cute and petite, and I later realized that short, cute, petite women often wish that they were tall and statuesque. So I think I would just kind of wish for her and for, you know, and for Terry and a lot of young girls who are going through that same thing, that they discover a lot earlier that they're perfect, they're beautiful just the way they are, and just kind of enjoy their bodies and who they are.
Yeah,
so.
Terry, you were nodding when Faith was talking about, you know, people always wishing to be something that they're not, or to be different somehow.
Yeah, well, my friends are like 5'2", so it's kind of awkward for them. They wish they were my height. I wish I was their height sometimes, but I don't really anymore. I quite like being tall.
And you've just won a competition, haven't you?
Crowned Scotland's New Face 2010.
Yeah, for modelling, so.
So you're using your height to great advantage.
Yeah.
Well, it's lovely to see you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you this morning. Let's see what's coming up. BBC News Channel, of course, has the latest news from...